Good morning, rabbit lovers, and welcome to the Happy Harvest Homestead. Today is going to be all about deep bedding in our meat rabbit colony. In the past, I've made, I believe it's only one other video about our rabbit deep bedding system. And while there is a lot of good information in that video, I don't actually show you how I do it. And currently, both this big colony and the small colony pen over there both need some fresh bedding, so I thought I'd take you along and actually show you how I do my deep bedding system for all the meat rabbits. Every once in a while, I will do a really huge, thorough, deep layer of bedding in the entire colony, but most of the time, I just do little touch-ups in areas that need it. So, for example, right here is really dirty. I just moved this morning, I moved the hay feeder from this area to that area. So there's a high concentration of poop in this area that I'm going to cover up. There's not enough poop to smell bad, but you can see that there's a lot of poop over here. And then it's the same throughout this entire area. Before I put bedding down, I usually will just walk around and notice where there's high concentrations of poop that need more bedding on them, and then where everything's fine. So in this little corner area, we need more bedding, but then in this little swath, usually by the nest boxes, there's not much need for more bedding. And then this time in this swath, this is looking pretty clean. I don't see any poops. Usually right by the door, our rabbits like to poop there, and along this strip, then over to here. I'm looking, and it looks like this entire area needs some more. So this whole swath, not this area, under here, this is the water table, and they'll poop on the water table, and I'll sweep or hand pick the poops down, and they fall through under here. So there's also a high concentration under here, usually. But it looks like there's like some bunches of straw they've kind of moved and pushed around. So it's looking like pretty much everywhere is clean. There's maybe a few spots I'll just rearrange some of the straw already here more evenly to cover up some poops. But overall it's looking pretty good, which usually is not the case over here. And then over here always needs more bedding. And then the same with this little strip. I find in this small strip of area, they don't really spend a lot of time there. They don't really poop there. But then right next to it, like right by this big window thing, they do poop a lot. And then it's looking like from the ramp to over to this strip is pretty clean. It's very interesting to see where the rabbits hang out a lot, where they poop a lot, and where they don't. So just to recap, yes, this place needs bedding. Yes, this place needs bedding. This entire front strip needs bedding. This strip does not, with nest boxes. This strip and then this small strip do not. Under here needs a little bit. I'm just going to rearrange some of the straw to cover the few places that do need it. So after I decide where needs bedding and where it doesn't, then I go grab the straw and put it down. And it looks like we need to open up a new bale. I have tried carrying flakes of straw by hand from the garage all the way into the rabbitry, and it's very annoying and hard. Part of the flake often falls off, and you often leave a trail of straw behind you, and it wastes a lot, and you have to make several trips. So we have these black barrels. These come in so handy. A few years ago, some friends were moving and they had these weird barrel things, and they asked if we wanted them, and we said sure. And at that point, we had no idea how useful these would be. We use them for everything. We use them to transport rabbits around the homestead. We use them for whenever we're weeding the garden, we'll put the weeds in here. And like I will show you all today, I'll put the flakes of straw. I can usually fit 2 or 3, all diagonal, and then pack another 2 or 3 on top, and I'll carry into the rabbitry. These are so handy. I'm sad we can't buy these anywhere. They were just given to us, but they are so nice. Come on. Okay. We are now back in the colony and ready to start spreading. I usually like to start in the back and work my way forwards. I've developed a habit or method I like. I don't know if it's better than any others, but just I have like a system of how I do it, and that's how I do it. So, one-handed, it's really heavy. So now, each flake usually can break apart pretty easily into like some really thin miniature flakes. And it's easier with two hands, but I'll try with one since my other hand is holding the camera. Just to slowly spread it out. And then sometimes like a whole bunch will fall off. And then I'll grab those bunches and spread them around. The rabbits always tend to enjoy chewing this fresh straw. Even though they have a whole bunch of fresh hay over here that's way more nutritious for them, they do enjoy looking. It's possible they're looking for like little bits of grain in the straw. This, I believe, is wheat straw, so I guess they're looking for bits of wheat. I don't really know, but I've come to accept it, even though it's kind of strange. Oh yeah, look here. Here's a little bit that they might be foraging through to see if there's any grains left. So I try to keep my layers pretty light. Straw is expensive, and we have a big colony. I find if I do really heavy, thick layers every once in a while, then the rabbits still poop on top of it, and I have to keep just adding more bedding anyways. So if I'm going to be adding lots of bedding anyways, I might as well make the layers lighter than heavier. And then it's kind of cool to see like the lines with like right this area so far. You can tell like the fresh straw versus the tamped down straw. Even though there aren't very many rabbits in here currently, and like I don't walk around here a bunch, the straw does tamp down pretty quick. So that was kind of surprising to me at first. Okay, I'm about maybe like 2/3 of the way done. This area, and then this whole area. I still have this swath to do, but I have run out of straw, so I'm going to fill up my barrel again and come back. Oh, and while I'm thinking about it, just in case you guys are wondering where Willowa and Leandrin are, they passed away from sickness since the last video. So we are now back to our original breeders in the colony. But these girls just have a few more days until they're able to come into the colony, and none of them have died, so that's good news. Okay, I'll go fill this up and come back. Woohoo! I am done in the main colony. This area is done. I did that little strip. I did this whole block. Oh dang, I forgot to do under here. Okay, so it's looking like if I just rearrange a little bit of straw. Okay, that looks much better. Actually, let's add a little bit more over there. Okay, now we're pretty good. Okay, now we are officially done with the meat rabbit colony, the main one. And once again, I ran out of straw, so I'm gonna fill up a lot less this time, just for this small little pen. Because there are so many rabbits in such a small space, I'm having to put bedding in there much more often. These guys, because there are currently so few of them in such a large space, I don't have to do a lot of bedding in here. But this pen is getting really dirty really fast. That is something I'm having to adjust to. Okay, I just finished with the all-girls little colony pen. This space is much more narrow and difficult to maneuver in. So I just put the camera down for that part. It was hard enough doing it with two hands, let alone having to maneuver a camera as well as having to navigate a huge barrel and a whole bunch of straw through a very narrow space while trying to get nothing in the water. And I think I did a pretty good job. I only have like one little piece of straw in there, and that won't bug the rabbits, so I'm pretty proud of myself for that. And it ended up being that I perfectly measured how much straw I was going to need. I had the perfect amount for this space, which usually doesn't happen. I usually have a little too much or a little too less, but this time I hit the nail right on the head, so I'm also pretty proud of myself for that too. Well, I guess both the water and the hay amount is kind of chance, so I shouldn't really be that proud, but I kind of still am, just like a teeny bit. So both colonies are now fresh with new bedding. Both sets of rabbits are enjoying their new thing to sniff around in and eat stuff from. Though it's not really good for them to be eating stuff in their bedding, there's really nothing I can do to help that. So I've just learned to accept it and live with it, and I'm not too worried about it. I hope you guys enjoyed this peek into my, well, it's not every day, but pretty often routine of adding deep bedding to my rabbit colonies. Hopefully you gleaned a few tips of how to do it yourself. Watching somebody do something is oftentimes much more helpful than just having someone explain how to do something. So until next time, thanks for watching. They have the right idea. They're eating what they're supposed to eat. Yes, hay is good. You're supposed to eat hay. You're not supposed to eat straw. What good rabbits. You all need to follow their example. I mean, finding tiny bits of grain is good and all, but if you eat stuff on the floor, it's possible you could get coccidiosis. At least some of my rabbits are doing the right thing. I guess I can be happy about that.